One of the biggest myths about being an entrepreneur is that there are no rules. No boss, no rules, tons of freedom. In fact, that can't be further than the truth and can actually be a trap. Here's the catch. With the blank calendar, it can quickly become that trap that we just mentioned about. Sometimes there's no structure, your days can spiral into chaos, procrastination, or even worse, burnout. So, as a business owner, no one is managing your time for you. It's all on you. And while that freedom is exciting, it also can be dangerous if you don't take control. But don't worry, today I'll show you how to break free from the blank calendar trap and take charge of your time like a pro. So yesterday, sat down at the kitchen table, was building out my calendar for the week as I normally do, and I opened it up and, fully blank page, and I got to thinking, what would it be like if I didn't have some type of structure in place? And I just started imagining all these scenarios where my days just kind of spiraled out of control, nothing got done, and my to-do list at the end of the week was just as large as my to-do list at the beginning of the week. And as I was building it out, I realized a couple of things. I realized that there were parts of my schedule that I liked, parts that I didn't. And while I did enjoy the freedom, there were times where I found myself saying, man, if I had, a team meeting, a meeting with this individual, a meeting with the vendor, and all of these moments that I had in my corporate world, maybe coming up and building out my calendar might be a little bit more easy. So I get it. We don't have that in the corporate world. You do have all of this freedom. You do have this ability to kind of create your day, create your week, create your cadence, but there are a couple of things that you can do to make sure that it happens as efficiently and as effectively as possible. So when we open up that calendar on Monday or Sunday night, whenever it was that you started building out your week, there's a couple of things that can happen, right? So like I said before, every day is a blank slate. No meetings happen unless you schedule them. No work gets done unless you schedule it. No deadlines unless you set them. And this can lead to paralysis, right? And paralysis, you don't know where to start. Sometimes your to-do list looks so large, that blank space looks so big. How exactly do you go about filling it up? And making sure you don't find yourself stuck in that paralysis rut is huge. The second thing that you can find yourself falling into is procrastination. Again, those deadlines don't get set until you set them. So if there aren't hard deadlines in place, if there aren't things that have to get done by, I don't even know what today is, things that don't have to get done until the 20th or the 21st, and you don't put them on your calendar, it can be easy to fall into the trap of procrastination. And then lastly, burnout. So sometimes you find yourself on the complete opposite side where you just overwork yourself because there's no clear end to the day. When you're working a traditional 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, when the alarm hits 5 o'clock or 6 p.m. or whenever your day was ending before, you knew that was the end of the day. Close the laptop, close your work, jump in the car, drive home. But as an entrepreneur, sometimes those lines get blurred, right? When does the workday end and our personal time or our family time begin? So paralysis, procrastination, burnout, those can really be the three pitfalls that you can find yourself falling into when it comes to the calendar. So now I want to talk a little bit about the other side, right? How do you make sure that these don't happen? How do you make sure that you walk yourself out of those situations and into a moment where you're as effective and as efficient as possible? So I'm going to switch over to the whiteboard. Let's see here. There we go. All right. And I want to go ahead and kind of deep dive a little bit into the three areas 5 ways to kind of combat this calendar trap. So the first thing that I want to call out is time block. So this is something that I've been using recently, and it's been very, very beneficial for me. So time block like a boss, right? So start each week by blocking time for your most important tasks. treat these blocks like non-negotiable appointments. This creates structure and ensures you're working on what truly matters. So right now, I'm actually in the process of working on a program that I'm going to be launching here in a couple of weeks. And so I have dedicated, the first thing that I did was time block 3 hours every single day to work on that. So I've got that, and then a couple of other things, right? So like my YouTube recordings, that's another thing that I've time blocked. No matter what, those two things are, there's time on my calendar to make sure that those things get done. And then the second thing is set clear goals for each day. Set clear goals. Those of you who know me know that I'm very much a start with the end in mind kind of person. So for me, being able to build out my calendar with this idea of when I go to bed at night, what is the one thing that I know I'll be the most excited about completing, really helps me to think about what are the little steps that I can do throughout the day to make sure that we get there. And people go about that different ways. Like I said, I'm very much an end in mind kind of person. And one of the things within that, every morning I try to write down 1 to 3 key goals I want to accomplish and use these goals as my North Star, right? Helping to keep me focused, keep me productive. And they can be a mix, right? Whatever different types whatever different parts of the business that I'm working on for that day. And the third thing within this that I want to call out is, let's see here, power of routines. Right, so use the power routines, create a morning routine to kick off your day and an evening routine to wind down. So I have put together a really good morning routine for myself. I like to get up. I like to, get dressed, do all of those things, sit down, have my devotional time, make breakfast for myself and my son before we head off to school. And I'm just now really working on starting an evening routine because I struggle a lot of times with kind of winding down, turning my brain off and getting ready for the evening. So I am working on creating an evening routine for myself. So if any of you guys have some really tip-top ones, please feel free to share them with me. And, if nothing else, it really helps to give your day some rhythm and helps you avoid some of that decision fatigue, right? You know that when the alarm hits this time, these are the things that you're going to do. You don't have to sit there and decide and think, okay, what am I going to do next? You already know these 3 or 4 things are going to happen in a row. Another thing, which I feel like as entrepreneurs, we get stuck in our mind and our head and forget to do is schedule some breaks and downtime. Schedule breaks and downtime. And I know you guys may be thinking, no, duh, of course, but if you actually look at your schedule, how often have you been doing that? Whether that's blocking time for lunch, exercise, or even just a quick walk, rest is just as important as work. It helps to keep you sharp. So don't be afraid to give yourself that mental reset. Give yourself some time to walk away from what it is that you're doing, give you that reset, and just use that break, use that downtime to help continue to propel yourself. And then the last thing, and we've talked about it in a couple of other sessions, is accountability. Right, so accountability really is key. Make sure I spell this right. Oh man, I think I spelled it wrong. Accountability, that's supposed to be an L. Accountability is key, so find an accountability partner, coach. It can even be a mastermind group. When someone else is checking in on your progress, you're more likely to stay on track. So I believe it was last Friday, I got to go and meet my accountability partner here in Nashville in person, which was fantastic, was great. But whether it's in person, whether it's just a Zoom call or a phone call or texting back and forth, there's even been times where I've just taken a picture of my calendar and shared it with an accountability partner so that I was, and I was using that to hold myself accountable to writing down the things that I needed to do when I needed to get them done. I have a brother who's fantastic at scheduling and organizing, and we kind of go back and forth with to each other with our schedules, but accountability really is key. So again, time block, super important to think about how are you setting up your day. Make sure you have clear goals for each day. Use the power of routines to help you. Don't forget about those breaks and downtime. You need those moments where you walk away and reset. And then accountability, share those ideas, share the things that you're focusing on with others. All right, so call to action with this. I know that we went over a lot today, but remember, being an entrepreneur doesn't mean being a slave to a blank calendar. It means taking control of your time, your energy, your focus by time blocking, setting those clear goals, routines, scheduling, accountability. You can avoid that trap and really thrive as a business owner. So for you guys, what's your biggest struggle when it comes to managing your time as an entrepreneur? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all of those things. Good luck with the schedule. New week, new day. Not quite a new month. We're about halfway through March, but I'm so excited to see all of the amazing things that you do with the rest of the month. And I can't wait to share Wednesday's news with you. Thanks for watching.